just adjust. Oh, we're live. Oh, Sally.
Quick.
Yes, maybe it was up on show already. Hello,
Maybe.
everyone. Sally, were you there? So sorry, I didn't know that it would show until we went live. Good morning. So we just got to go through connection speeds, whether the phone's going to overheat, and a few little things. Check whether the phone's going to overheat, whether the sound's okay with the fans running beside me, and then we'll have a chat. I noticed a message from Sally, and she deleted it, but I didn't even know we were up on view. This is just a bit of an impromptu. So let's have a quick see if anyone can let me know what the sound is like. It looks a bit laggy on my phone, but
it's okay on mine.
it's okay on Michelle's, so that's good. Scorching hot, everybody. It is so hot, but we brought you somewhere beautiful. And I saw Sally's message there.
So
Byron,
there.
hey buddy, how are you? I can see them, hun. You can let me know if I missed them. Michelle's here. Just pop your head in, hun.
Hello.
She will come round, but we're just trying to get some airflow around us. Hi Sally, can you tell me, is the sound okay? Because there's a big busy road just out the front of us, and there's going to be buses and trucks going up there, but I've put a microphone on that's pointing towards us, or towards me, but there's fans blowing everywhere because it must be like 40 degrees today, so it's really hot, tropical weather. So just, can you tell me if you can hear me okay? And I'm drying up already. Anybody, tell me if you can hear me. I might be talking to myself, otherwise I'm not sure. Hi Sally. And is it okay? Is the quality? Oh, thank you. It's Violet. Who said that it was winter? Byron, it is so hot where I am, buddy. It's so hot, and it's summer.
Yeah, he's saying it's funny how it's winter in Australia.
Yes.
And summer in America.
And sunny where we are.
Just tweeting us out.
So Michelle's just doing some share outs, and then we're going to have a little chat and a catch up. Always hot in Malaysia. You're right there, Violet. We spent a lot of time in Malaysia, and
Thank you.
oh, hello. Sorry. Here we go. So this is a little bit. Look at this beautiful. Look at this. Dripping away. Can you see that, Sally? Thank you very much, Camel. I wish we could get a wider angle on the camera. I know the timing isn't great, but we've got to go with what we have. I think it's late for a lot of people, so maybe some of you will watch this on the playback. But Michelle and I just wanted to catch up, let you know what we're going to be up to over the next few months. We've still got some. We're still working on some great videos. We have left Japan. Sadly, and we just had such a good time in Japan, loved it to death, absolutely wonderful country, beautiful people, but it's only, you're limited by your visas and accommodation when you're in those sort of places. Japan's quite expensive for accommodation, so we've just moved somewhere else. Hey Amy, somewhere exciting. We've come here for a reason. Well, no, we were a sort of reason. We needed to get a visa to another country, and this is where we've come to get it. But while we're here, we're going to have some fun here as well and share some wonderful stuff. The only thing is the heat. It is so scorching hot. I can hardly hear myself speaking, so I'm hoping this microphone is picking up. Can you guess where we are? There's the clue. This is Michelle's morning coffee. This is our first coffee of the morning. and it's dripping down into that glass there beautifully. And then she's got some beautiful ice. Let me just show you. Let me just turn that camera down. You can see, got a bowl of ice here. The coffee dripping in to the little glass. Nice little little bowl of iced tea. Yum dingity. I'll have mine a little bit later on.
One more and then I'm there.
Michelle's just busy tweeting and doing all the stuff, and then she's going to take over the camera duty because I can't keep leaning in like that. How is everybody? It was such a long time since we've had a chat, and it's frustrating for Michelle and I because we were trying to get everything up together before we started filming in this new location, and it's just taking a long time. I'm going to have your icy tea. What have you all been up to? Are you joining us?
Yes, I'm joining you all now.
Michelle's going to join us.
I'll try.
So come in a little bit, sweet.
Oops.
There you go, and then you'll be a little bit in.
Just make sure that's not going to hit. No, no.
I think you'd be better on this side.
Okay.
Okay?
Yep. Let's just move that over there.
Because that side is where the fan is.
Yep. We need the fan.
Are we organised?
No.
Are we organised?
We're getting there.
We're not.
Okay.
Tropical weather. Do you want to see what I'm looking at over? I'll turn the camera around just so you can see. So we've got a tree just ahead of us, and then we've got the ocean. Will it be? I'm not sure.
It's a river before the ocean.
It's a river before the ocean.
Yeah, I think so. So, see if I can get this to go.
And I've got to get somehow now. You've got to get your coffee over there.
It's all right, look at that.
I wish that camera was a bit wider.
Ah, it's okay. We'll
Let me
work on
try
it.
something. Be patient with me. It might get a little juddery. Hey, Angelique. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. It's our morning as well. Well, it's a late morning for us.
Whoa.
Whoops! You're going to collapse.
You're going for a little ride.
You're
there,
going
but
for a
don't
little
worry.
ride. I'm going to move this. I'm sliding this along the bean pole. This is not a very well planned. Mind you, we're not in familiar, and I've got to watch out for the sun.
Everything gets so hot.
I'm moving this along a banister or a balcony rail, and there's of course there's metal bits and pieces as we go along. Saw Angela in.
There you go. That's probably a bit better for you, isn't it?
Oh,
Out of the way over here.
Angela, I'm going to be so warm today. It's getting up to the sort of 40 degrees, and humidity must be up in the 90s. So Michelle's got a nice iced coffee. You let me know if the sound plays up. I'm exhausted now. I'm going to have to go and have a lie down. Can you get on the comments again, Squidder?
Yeah, my throat was a bit hot, that was all.
Crooked now. Somebody says, how's Michelle? Who said, how's Michelle? Amy said, how's Michelle? You answer that, Michelle.
I'm very good, Amy, thank you. I'm just getting on the comments so I can see too, so if we miss any. There we go.
This is Michelle's morning coffee.
Oh, cheeky. I haven't even had a slurp yet.
I'm gonna order one. I had
Yeah.
one when I arrived when I was setting up, but I'm ready for another.
Should I go and see if I can get you one?
you want to see if we can order some breakfast?
Well, we get the coffee, and then when they come up with your coffee, we can order breakfast.
Okay.
Yeah. We have a slurp first.
Hey Kelly, good morning. Good morning to you, Kelly. Late at night, I think. There is a beautiful little shop behind us. This cafe we're in at the moment. It's got a lovely shop selling sort of tribal and locally made porcelain. This is beautiful. This is a little goblet, little stoneware goblet with some iced tea in it. I just like them. They're really nice. They're about oh, how much are they? She's selling them here. They're probably about maybe $3. How much do you think these are, Michelle? $3 US?
Did you see a price from?
On the bottom of the cup. They're just there.
Okay, I can have a look.
Michelle will price
I'll be
them.
the runner.
She can be my runner. She's better in the heat than I am.
They're 60,000.
So they are around about 4 Australian, so they're probably about $3 US. Not that you can buy them. 5:30 a.m. for Kelly.
What time?
5:30 a.m.
Oh, you're up early. You're up early and up late, Kelly.
Kelly's a night owl like me. I've got this fan blowing beside me, and I've got this huge, great big windsock on the microphone, so it should be okay.
Should be good.
Right, the news is we left Japan, and I've actually just finished editing the video of leaving Japan, and I was going to put that up this morning, but I was a bit late. I had a little bit of a sickness over the last couple of weeks. I had a bad cold, and it sort of knocked me out a little bit. So we've been sort of struggling to get to catch up a little bit, and then we did the video we're leaving Japan, which I've edited, and then last night Michelle and I said, oh, let's just do a live and say hello to you all and let you know. So you're going to know that we are actually in Vietnam. If you haven't guessed already, Michelle just told the prices in dong, which is the local Vietnamese currency, which oh, beautiful. And this is
I'll let you come in,
Anna.
Hannah. Bit easier for you.
Thank you, Anna. Thank you. Could we order
I'm going to have a smoothie bowl.
smoothie bowl? You have yours first. Then.
Okay, yours
I'll have
still
something in about 15 minutes.
Oh,
Yeah.
so just a smoothie bowl. Thank you.
So my coffee, beautiful, rich Vietnamese coffee. It's okay to talk, Anna. It's not a problem. It's all. The lady that runs this place, she's married to a Vietnamese guy, and she's from Germany. So she's so sweet, and we found it just the day before yesterday, and we've been coming here to get some breakfast while we're catching up and doing some editing. And this lady is lovely. It's a cafe called the Tree Hugger, and she's all about sort of environmental sustainability. She's got bamboo straws, glass straws. A lot of the local produce here is made by local tribes, so they're indigenous local people. So a lot of this sort of beautiful stitch. These are the little coffee doilies.
And the basketware, isn't it? All this sort of
All
stuff.
the basketware
Big ones,
is
small
made locally. So it's a nice feel to this place, and it's very reasonably priced as well. For instance, a coffee here that I'm having is around about
$1 US.
about $1 US for a coffee. I mean, it's slightly above the local rate for a coffee, but it's a really nice experience. So we're really enjoying it. And as I say, Anna, she's a real sweetheart.
So Sally says it's great when you're live.
It is great, Sally, and we wish we could go live a lot more often, and we're going to try to do a bit more on this leg of the journey, because I want to catch up and let you know what we're doing a little bit more on the pulse. So disappointingly, my leaving Japan video will go up the next video, but you'll already know where we're going if you've watched this.
And Tazfulia Prank says, where to next, Philippines or Argentina?
You never know.
Got a
You
little while
never
thinking
know.
yet.
actually, we're actually applying for a visa to the next country, so we'll cover that a little bit later on when it's all signed and sealed. And that's one of the reasons we came to Vietnam, to organise our visas. And yeah, and also we only came to Vietnam. A lot of people said, "Oh, you've been to Vietnam before," but we only came here for about a 10-day visit last time. So, and we got a lot done. We really enjoyed it, and we needed to come back. And there's so much to show you. But I tell you what, it's the hottest time of year. So here is my Vietnamese coffee. In the bottom of this coffee, all over Vietnam, they're always using this condensed sweet milk. You're not going to get really an unsweetened coffee. And the idea is, well, I can try the coffee as it is. And it's quite bitter, so it needs that little bit of sweetener. I don't even have milk in coffee. Give it a little mix through. Vietnamese coffee, it's like chocolate. It's so sweet and rich. And then what you do is you take your bowl of ice, and in Vietnam, if the ice has a hole in the middle, it means it's been processed for drinking, so it's safe to eat. So you can take your ice, no worries about any infections, and you fill the glass up. I'll just pop that in there. You finish your, no, Michelle's still got hers.
I've still got some.
So you take your ice cubes, fill the glass up, and I've got 2 spoons. One for handling my ice handling spoon, and then you just stir that through, and you've got a beautiful, sweet, rich, chocolatey iced coffee with a lot of caffeine in it. Good kick for the morning.
You're going to take some of your ice, otherwise it only melts and it's a waste.
Yeah. And this is what we've been drinking the last few days.
Yes.
It's quite a welcome.
It's very nice.
Very
isn't it?
nice coffee. And
Yeah?
we did immediately miss Japan and everything about it, but immediately embrace what we're seeing here in Vietnam. There's been some ups and downs. As I say, I've been a little bit sick that couple of weeks. I had some maybe a flu, maybe man flu, who knows? But it kind of knocked us a little bit.
Kelly's asking how I am. I'm very well, Kelly, thank you.
Michelle didn't get it.
I didn't get it. I didn't get man flu. We've just been taking it a bit slow, haven't we?
Who's that just came in?
Let's have a look. Sherbase says, yo, Steve.
Yo, Sherbase. And Michelle has just ordered her breakfast,
Really
which we're going to
nice.
see in a minute. It's going to be tricky with that tripod though.
We'll manage. We'll work out a way.
You'll have a look. It's a mango-based smoothie drink, but it's pretty special. We'll show you it when it arrives. And then we're going to have a bit of a mukbang, I guess. We're going to sort of
yeah.
chat with you while we're eating, while we're sharing our breakfast.
You were saying about how the next video going up is the one from us leaving Japan, arriving here, but there are a couple that you're working on, aren't you? Which
Yeah, we've still got, just from before we left Japan, we did some great food videos, and they've got to be, I've got to sit and edit those. I just wasn't feeling up to it this last week, and I've got to get and finish and edit those, so forgive me if they're sort of a little out of sequence with being in Vietnam and putting up videos in Japan. But they're quite lengthy videos with a lot of editing in them, so it's going to take me a bit of time. And some of you will know that my MacBook completely pooped itself when we were in Japan, so I'm borrowing Michelle's laptop. We just haven't been anywhere yet where we can get
repaired or new
repaired
one.
or replacement, so it's a little bit tricky.
Or a tiny little bird, you won't be able to see it, but a tiny little bird in the tree.
Yeah, it's like a little, almost like a little honey eater.
No point turning the camera because you won't be able to
No,
find
it's
him.
too small.
He's the size of the leaves.
Quite a few comments whipped up there, Michelle.
So, yeah, Kelly's saying, hope you're feeling better, Steve. Colds are no fun. Glad you're better now.
I'm feeling a lot better. It's gone really. It's cleared up. when we did a little trip when we first arrived, and I think that antagonized it a little bit. So that was one of the reasons. And I've been wanting to say to you all for a long time that we've moved out of Japan to here. Well, not for a long time, but I wanted to say to you as we did it, it's really tricky, this this YouTube business, you know. I see all these travelers going around filming, and you very quickly realize a lot of them are filming stuff from places they were sort of 6 months ago. So you get this sort of like feeling, a detached feeling. And Michelle and I are trying to keep it fairly current, so that if you say to us, you know, go and see this or go and see that we can actually do it. So it's tricky.
And you like the to do a live stream every so often?
Yeah, it's tricky to live stream from Vietnam when you've said you've just arrived in Kyoto or something like that, which is the last place. We actually went to Kyoto, which was beautiful, and I put a couple of videos. I got another video at least to go up in Kyoto, and then we headed back to Osaka for a night, and then flew out from Osaka to Vietnam. And we made a little video of that. It's a little bit of fun, so I'll put that up shortly. You can check it out. And I think the heat has hit me. You're not so bad with the heat.
No, I quite like the heat, but it is very, very hot.
It's not just the heat though. It's the humidity of Vietnam at this time of year. This is the time of year when most of the Vietnamese are actually just leaving the city. Where we are now, they're all going away, going up into the hills, because they're trying to get away from this oppressive heat. And Michelle and I are heading to the coast where nobody's going this time of year. So we're hoping to find somewhere where we can just relax down, edit the last few videos from Japan, show some of the stuff we've been doing here since we arrived in Vietnam, and chat with you all really, and get some feedback about what you've all been doing, what you've been up to.
And we always do it wrong. We're always going out, sort of, you know, we'll come out for a late breakfast and then we go for a walk, and it's sort of midday, 1 o'clock, and everybody else is going for a siesta then.
We're lazy, aren't we?
Yeah, it's about 4 o'clock.
We're lazy. We love our lie-in. So we really, because we often work quite late, because of the nature of what we do, we're quite often up at sort of 1 o'clock in the morning or later sometimes. And we like to lie in the morning. And so we're getting up when everyone else is starting to have their siesta. And we're going for walks around these streets about now, when we're live streaming, and it's, I'm sure you can hear me, but the trucks are really loud. Oh, here we go. Here's Michelle's smoothie bowl. Oh, that looks beautiful. Thank you. This is
for me. It's okay.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Okay.
You put it there, he'll eat it.
Yeah, I'll eat it. That looks nice.
Looks beautiful.
Your react look like it's for you.
Yeah, it was. It's because I will eat it if you put it there. Let me show.
I got to hold on to it tight, but thank you.
Have a look. Just let me bring that down.
So bring it forward.
Yeah, right forward.
Oh, look at this.
Can you see that? So you've got slithered almonds, bananas, chia seeds, little love heart shaped. Let me turn that round.
Watermelon.
Little love heart shaped watermelon, a bit of mint, some granola, some lovely fresh passion fruit.
All on top of a beautiful mango and pineapple and other fruits.
Can you see that? How gorgeous is that? Like I say, this tree hugger, she does a wonderful job. They do a wonderful job. I'm sure it's the couple that do it, but I only ever see Anna here.
Yeah.
It is, Kelly. It would be. It is posh, as you say. But would you like to know how much that is, Kelly? I need to probably do the maths. I can tell you. Just let me work it out in my head. Would you make that about 4 Australian?
Yeah, it's under 4.
It's about 4 Australian. So it's about, what is that, Kelly, in pounds? 4 Australian dollars.
You guys have to Google it.
Can somebody check that for me in US dollars and any other countries, Malaysian ringgit?
Who else is in? We don't know. where they're from.
Where's everyone from? Who's watching from where? What currencies? If you're watching from somewhere other than Vietnam,
And I get a little, the wooden spoon.
yeah, so their spoons are wooden, all reusable. Oh, well, all
They're all reusable.
spoons are reusable.
So Amy says looks yummy, and Sally says from the UK, Amy says from the UK, and T. Francis says from Texas here.
From Texas. Yeehaw.
So it's, you can do it 55,000 dong.
Okay.
So you can work out what it is in your currency.
So
I'm going to sit back here and enjoy.
now I'm going to order something. Michelle likes the smoothie bowls, and they look beautiful, don't they? They look beautiful. So it's a mango-based sort of. There's a lot of other fruit in that smoothie, though.
But it is really mango-y.
Yeah, so it's got a mango base, and then it's got the chia seeds and a little bits of fruit in there as well, and some. I'm going to order something with a little bit more carbohydrates, and I'm going to have oh no, I'm have pancakes today. Wait.
The fruit pancakes?
Wait and see the pancake. What difference is? I don't know.
Well, there's chocolate, or there's just honey. There's fruit.
You're confusing things to me. I want the pancakes for that.
He has fruit pancakes.
Okay.
Want me to go and order it for you?
Yeah, have a little bit. See, that's the thing. They do have quite a lot of choice on the menu. So when I'm ordering the pancakes, I just thought I'd be getting the pancakes, but now Michelle has given me so 3 options.
So the one you saw was a fruit pancake.
That looked nice.
Yeah.
There was a young lad here yesterday when we came for coffee, and he had these New Mexico, Texas, New Mexico. Cool. All places Michelle and I have been to and loved. Yeah, and he was from Poland. Him and his girlfriend were from Poland. They had a lovely plate of pancakes. Was it good?
Icy cold.
Is it nice and cold? It's a really good. It's a really good smoothie bowl. I've got Michelle in the corner there. I'll just might just turn her out of camera a little bit. I'm going to put Michelle out of camera. She doesn't probably want to sit and eat with you guys seeing poor Michelle. I know these mukbangs are about eating on video, but it's not really our thing. I'll share mine. I don't mind eating on video. So, what else? We've had some real ups and downs, and I filmed some of it, not all of it, because some of it's been just a real pain. Some shocking trips that we've done getting here. I almost want to forget about them.
We might share those ones because it's not always fun
79
times.
cents?
Yep. And €2.49.
Can't be 79 cents.
No.
No.
55,000 dong.
55,000 Vietnamese dong. That can't be. Did you mean $1.79 maybe?
Probably. That sounds about
I
right.
can't do the calculations because my phone's being used to live stream. I'm a little bit out of practice with this live streaming. What am I supposed to tell you all? I'd rather hear what you guys have been up to. You've seen what we've been up to, staying in sort of love hotels and going to Kyoto, to those beautiful old temples in Kyoto.
Is it like porridge, Michelle, breakfast? No, it's really a smoothie. It's a runny smoothie. Look.
Yeah, the base of it is quite. The base of it is a fairly thick fruit smoothie, and then it has a little bit of oatmeal, sort of granola that you mix in. So it's not really as heavy as a porridge. Much lighter, much healthier.
Yeah, I mean, I could, if it didn't have all the fruit on, I could use a straw. It's nice if you mix everything in.
And then Michelle puts the passion fruit on top as well.
And I mixed it all in. The first time I had it, I ate all the fruit first and then had the smoothie, but I like all the bits mixed in now, I've decided.
Go on, order mine.
Go and order yours.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you. Chop chop. Oh, $2.79. $2.79. Yeah, that sounds about right. So that's around $2 I know it sounds cheap, but by Vietnamese standards, that's probably quite expensive. But you can see the effort that Anna puts into it. It's really beautiful the way she's presented it. It's definitely worth every cent. Even, you know, it's too easy to come to these countries and say it's too cheap or something else, but it's got to be relative. You know, if they charge even $1 more, then people will go next door to another place and get a better deal. So you have to find that sweet spot, and I think this place, the Tree Huggers, has really done that. She's really got a nice, and anything you like, whether you like these little carved spoons.
Okay, there was a bit more of a honey or chocolate. I went with honey.
Yeah, thank you.
I said I might have to run back down again.
Michelle knows me. I'd rather have honey than chocolate. And I know a lot of you love chocolate with your pancakes, but I'd rather have honey.
I would have had chocolate.
Michelle likes chocolate with her pancakes. We're like Jack Sprat. Could eat no fat, his wife could eat no lean. So yes. Yes, so I think they've got the prices just about right here. They're not too expensive for this town, to encourage people to come in, and local people. Because by the way, the town we're in, very few, almost no tourists at all. We're trying to find places now, although we're heading to a really touristic area, we're trying to find places in Vietnam that are off the beaten track. And that doesn't mean they're going to be really remote, but these are places where foreigners don't tend to go as tourists. So we've done this little town here. I won't mention the town just yet, mainly because I can't even remember how to pronounce it. But there's very few. You'll see very few tourists here. So this place has to cater to a local market, and they're producing really good quality stuff because Anna is from Germany. But they are having to cater to a local market.
You get the old tourists popping through, but they don't stay, do they?
Yes.
Just one day.
Yeah, because there's some famous places to visit around here, but not here itself. So they get a sort of a fairly strong flux of tourists coming for the day, which is really nice. But as I say, most of the people are going away from this region and getting up into the hills, or going away overseas even to get away from the heat.
Yeah, it's been about 35 the last couple of days, but the humidity's been sky high.
It's pretty much, if you have 35 in Australia, it's hot, but it's not raining. But the heat here in Vietnam, unless you've actually experienced these sort of tropical heats before, you may not understand what I mean. But it just completely it saps the energy out of you. And sometimes you'll go to sort of Europe and people say, oh, it's really humid, but it's not humid, not like here.
Amy asked how your coffee is.
Coffee is lovely, Amy. It's almost chocolatey. It's the sweet lifting of the bitter coffee, with that sweet condensed milk that the Vietnamese use in all of their coffee drinks. You know, when I made my Vietnamese egg coffee, which is not popular around this area, that's more from Hanoi, they use a lot of this sweet condensed milk, and mainly because it doesn't need chilling like regular milk. It's preserved in the sugars, and because of the intense heat here, it's just become very popular. But what that means is all the drinks are really sweet. You just don't get coffee with no sugar.
So Chef Mooney's in.
Hey Dave, baby Dave. Hot over here, Dave. Very hot, man. not. I was just saying, you know, when you get a hot day in Melbourne, Chef Mooney Dave has got a lovely YouTube channel. Check him out. You can click on his link, get across and see him. But Dave lives in Melbourne. I was just saying, Dave, you know, the heat when we get it up. Happy cooking too, buddy. I was just saying, when it gets to 35 degrees in Melbourne, which it frequently does, or even hotter, it's just not as hot as here in Vietnam. It just, I don't know if the weather thing would say 35 feels like 80. What is 35 in Fahrenheit? It's hot, but it's tropical heat. So you just tend to, we were saying earlier on, most people will have a bit of a siesta between maybe about now, midday-ish, till maybe 3 or 4 in the afternoon. And that's the time Michelle and I tend to get up and stupidly go for our mad day walk. And then go back to the hotel and sit in the air conditioning and sort of like completely, you have to completely change, everything's soaked. So yes, Dave, good to see you, man. Good to see you.
It's an odd time for us to be doing a live stream, isn't it?
It is an odd time, although each time we move time zones, each time we move country, it either becomes more and more complicated. Like, I have a scheduled time I try to put my videos up, and that's becoming earlier and earlier in the morning for me. I think at the moment, Vietnamese time, we're going up at sort of 5 or so in the morning. Well, I'm not getting up for at least a few hours after that. So by the time we go to the next country, I don't know, it's just getting early. Eventually it'll get...
Yeah, it'll be the...
Eventually it'll get so we're putting them up at the time when I can actually be awake.
So T. Francis said the humidity can be very draining. It's that way here in Houston.
Yes, humidity is what tends to do it. The tropical heats you get in this part of the world, they can be most of the year. I mean, they don't really go into winter, and that's where you can sort of judge. You can judge a country's real heat is by the fact that probably in the middle of winter here, it's still around probably 80 degrees Fahrenheit, maybe mid-late 20s Celsius. So it always feels like a storm's just about to crack, you know? And sometimes they do. Occasionally a storm sort of breaks in and it's really refreshing. It brings the whole temperature down. But of course then all that moisture on the ground, the humidity rises back up again. Michelle and I have lived in a few tropical countries over the years. And it's funny because you'll get to the stage where the temperature starts to drop down to the sort of mid-20s. Sort of 80 Fahrenheit, I think that is, maybe between 70, 75, 80 Fahrenheit. And people start pulling out their big woolly jumpers and sort of fleece jackets because they're cold, because it feels really cold to them.
It does.
Even today, it's over 100 degrees Fahrenheit. It's probably 35 degrees or plus Celsius. And there'll still be Vietnamese going around in jackets. Yeah, there's a guy just going past now. He's got a t-shirt, got a big thick jean jacket over the top.
And even on the bikes, you don't need them, do you? It's so hot.
But it's just that they've lived here all their lives and they're used to the heat, so they don't really feel the heat until it gets to those extreme days of 40 plus.
So Amy Highfield says, hello from Wolverhampton.
Wolverhampton Wanderers. Hello, Amy. I didn't know you were from Wolverhampton.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, so oh, here we go. Pancakes.
Sorry, other side.
Beautiful.
Wow.
Thank you very much. Lovely. Camel. Thank you. You see? Let me just
I can hold the plate.
let me just turn this down a little bit. And then I'll show you my my pancakes.
Got a little teacup of honey.
Oh, the bus is going by. They're so noisy. So we've got guava and watermelon and mangoes and bananas, some honey in the middle.
Some dragon fruit.
Oh, not guava, it's dragon fruit. Yes, it is dragon fruit. This happens sometimes. You don't notice it until you start making videos. And we did it in that supermarket, by the way, where you use microphones that tend to pick up the sound, like a cardioid style microphone gets the name cardioid from a heart shape. And what that means is the microphones pick up the sound around your head and don't pick the sounds up far. So although in that supermarket video it might have not sounded like the noises were really loud, to our ears it was horrendous. I mean, sorry, I'm jiggling around. The noise in that supermarket of the refrigeration units and that, well, it was lovely music until it just looped over and over again, was 10 times louder than you could hear on the video. And where we're sat here now, hopefully you're getting the sound, but all I'm hearing from my ears are buses and lorries going along this road out the front here, so sometimes I can't even hear myself think. I'll turn that round a bit so Michelle's back in.
Amy says you want to share, Steve? You won't share.
I
You
will
won't
share,
share.
Amy, I will share. I always share. Come on, there's a chair here. Hop on. What would you like first, Amy? I'm going to go in. Well, I can't ask you what you like first and then completely ignore you.
And is it Harum's Mia says, sup? What's up?
Oh look,
So is
Michelle's right. It's a little teacup
It's cool, isn't it?
of honey.
Wow. Can you do all that?
Oh,
It's heavy,
gotta get
that
my hand
plate.
a little. Plate's so heavy, it's so full of. So I'm going to pour a little bit of honey. Some of you might have liked the chocolate sauce. I'm going to leave some in the cup.
Looks good.
What do I have to leave for you, Sally? Was it Sally?
Sally, yes. No, Amy, sorry, Amy.
Oh, Amy, sorry.
I'm sorry.
Jumped in. What do I have to leave for you, Amy? Which Amy is that?
Amy Highfield from Wolverhampton. Pancakes look good.
Mmm.
I think you've got
Oh, nice honey.
3 pancakes and they've cut them in half. Nicely presented, isn't it? Oh, so Sally. Oh, we've got Amy Highfield and Sally Highfield.
Any relation?
No, Sally says so pretty.
I know I am, Sally.
So Sally Highfield, my daughter, she would eat all of those. So is Amy your daughter, Sally, or am I getting confused there? Is it good?
It's nice honey, proper honey. Quite often in Vietnam, the honey is really just a sugar syrup, but I think this is it's got that flavour. You'll all know it.
It'll be local honey, won't it? So Sally said yes, she is. So Amy is Sally's daughter.
Oh.
Want some more tea?
Yes. I should have asked him while he was here.
You should have done. You should have done. I will take that down because they'll top it up, put some ice in, and they'll probably bring the pot out.
Michelle's good, isn't she? I've got her well trained. You know what it's like. Took a few years. I can say what I like while she's not here. She can kick me under the table when she comes back. But really, the heat and the wind, it's wicking the moisture out of your body all the time. So I want to eat these pancakes with a little bit of something to drink, glass of water or something. And I should have asked the guy as he delivered it, but we were busy chatting, and he would have come up with a little teapot and topped that up. But she's a good one, Michelle. She's gone down. And so let's see how are the mangoes today.
Really filled it up. It's nice you get a little cup of tea
Yes, the teas are free, so you can, a little like water, maybe they give you a little bit of tea. Let's see what the mangoes are like. They're going to be a bit honeyish because I've got honey over them. I just adore the mangoes here. And that's a sweet one. The dragon fruit. It's the white dragon fruit with a little sesame seeds in there.
You had some
Poppy seeds.
poppy seeds.
Yeah, they put the poppy seeds in the dragon fruit, which is quite clever.
Sit and put them in.
Not sure how they do that.
I had some nice mangosteen yesterday, didn't we? That was quite nice. And the
Mangosteens and
rambutans.
rambutans yesterday. Some of you will know what mangosteens and rambutans are. They're quite similar in a way.
Yeah, taste-wise, yeah. Just
A little bit like a lychee.
like, yeah.
I think they're a bit like a lychee.
I think so. I think all those Logans and lychees.
Yes.
That'll fill you up, that one.
Yeah. Yes. Yesterday I had a smoothie bowl here, which I really enjoyed, but because there isn't the carbohydrates in it, I was still a little bit hungry at the end.
It really fills me up.
No, I wasn't hungry. Tell a lie.
No, but you became hungrier earlier than me because it wasn't enough for you, was it?
Wasn't.
So Chef Mooney says, setting up to film another recipe, Steve, still watching.
Good show, mate.
So
what are you making?
I think everybody's in their summer. Well into summer now, aren't they? July. Unless they're from Australia.
Yeah. Dave's going into winter.
Oh,
In winter.
I heard it's been cold in Melbourne.
Yeah, the children saying it's been pretty cold. You know, that's the thing in Melbourne. It's all relative. It's cold by Melbourne standards. It's certainly not cold by some of the Central Northern European standards. If you were to compare, when they say it's cold, it's probably getting down to about sort of 10 degrees or so.
So Chef Mooney says, easy chicken dinner in the pressure cooker. Very nice.
So,
And
for those of you missing recipes by Steve, you can get across and check out Dave and check out his videos.
Keith Cunningham said, I don't eat much fruit. How would a carnivore like me do that?
You do pretty well. Who's that?
Keith Cunningham.
Keith, you do pretty well.
Yeah, there's plenty of meat here, isn't
Plenty
there?
of meat, but there is a problem at the moment, Keith. There's African swine flu. They hit Vietnam pretty hard, actually. Unfortunately, they've had to cull millions of pigs. That's the word I was looking for myself.
There you were. I was gonna stop that.
Because African swine flu, which is also in the USA, I believe, at the moment, is quite. We've got a bus actually going to park in front of us and run his engine. It's hitting parts of the globe pretty hard, and it's a nasty disease which affects the pigs. It doesn't actually migrate into the human population at all. It's even not. I don't think it's contagious by the meat itself, but they have to cull because it's devastating to the farmers. And pork was the predominant meat of this region. I'd say it's probably one of the highest consumed meat products. And if you see they have a lot of suckling pig on rotisseries for celebrations and what have you. So pork is one of the most popular pigs. So it's hitting Vietnam pretty hard. It's also started to move now up into southwestern China, and China is a huge. So yeah, these things, these dreadful diseases. This one I think has come from Africa originally. It's not good. It's not good. So that, sorry Keith, so you'd be better on your beef
Or chicken.
and chicken.
And fish. Lots of seafood.
Around this area, a lot of good fish.
So,
But if you like your pork, everyone's tending to avoid it at the moment.
so Fidelity Quester says, hello Steve and Michelle.
Hey FU, how are you?
And thank you Amy. She says I'm lovely.
No, she's not Amy.
You're making jealous. Well, the sun's gone off of this bit now, hasn't it? So it's cooled down a little tiny bit.
We've got a fan there, fan now.
The phone's probably still hot.
So the pancakes are, I would say, they're not so eggy, but they are more an English style pancake rather than a French crepe.
Quite thick, aren't they?
They're a little bit, they're rolled what I would class as English style pancake. Some people may call them crepes, but they're not really thin enough for a crepe. But they're not actually an English pancake recipe because there's not as much egg in this as you would have in an English pancake. You can tell by the taste, but it's quite nice.
Does it have a coconut taste? Because sometimes they use coconut.
No,
No,
not really.
Not really. So Keith says that's not good, but I'll trade off for beef and fish.
I mean, to be honest, Keith, it's not a big meat-eating country. A lot of Asian countries, meat is the minority meal in a meal, so it's a small portion of meat to rice and carbohydrates and vegetables. And I think that's quite often why initially it was not so many carbohydrates other than sort of unprocessed carbohydrates like rice and things. So it's probably why they were a lot healthier for so many years. Having said that, the times are changing. You know, you're seeing a lot more fast food in these countries now, and a trend towards your beef burgers and hamburgers, what have you. So that is changing.
Sally says I'm having a lovely cup of tea.
I'm having a lovely cup of tea too. But I'm hot.
Yours is a cold tea.
I know, but you can almost breathe in the moisture today.
Yeah.
It's like, I can feel it's like almost like a soup out here. And the fact that I'm sat still under the fan is the only reason why I'm not just absolutely dripping.
So Fidelity Cresta says, you guys look like you're enjoying life, so what is the plan? More travelling, more food? Yes?
More travelling, more food. FQ. We're here in Vietnam processing a visa to another interesting country. We have plans all this year to be travelling and sharing with you food from different parts of the world. And we say we have plans. Haven't really got any plans.
Not really planned. I mean, we only planned this because we have some of the countries we have to get a visa for, and that takes a little bit of time. So that involves planning.
Yeah.
But if we haven't got to get a visa, you can't.
I'm so hot. I'm so hot. I'm finding it hard to eat actually.
Yeah, just leave it a while. It's not going to go cold.
It's not going to go cold. What temperature is it now? Have you got it on the weather there? Feels like it's getting even hotter.
35.
So it's 35 degrees.
And mostly cloudy.
It is cloudy. That's why it's so
yes.
muggy.
Yes.
I don't have any sort of issues with breathing and asthma or anything like that, but I'm finding it actually quite thick, the air today. It's quite soupy. I reckon the humidity levels must be way up in the whatever the close to swimming is.
Well, the cloud's keeping it in as well, isn't it? So.
Yeah, there's a sort of low pressure. I'm sure there's a storm coming. I tell you what, I'll post it on Facebook if the storm comes, or maybe on the YouTube community page. But it feels to me like a storm is coming in. There's a real downward pressure. I'm finding it quite hard to eat. We can talk about the visa, can't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
As you're here.
If you're here. Vietnam is one of those countries where you can apply for a visa to travel into China. Michelle and I have had experience in China before, but we really want to take you into China to see some of the beauties of China. So we're actually trying to get a visa for China. And not just the usual sort of Beijing, Shanghai. It's not our thing. We're just not really into capital cities or Eiffel Towers and things like that. It'll be places that you probably haven't heard of, in places that will be fascinating. So once that actually comes, once we've got that visa processed, we've got a bit of time here in Vietnam. We've decided to stay a bit longer because it's hot in Vietnam, but it's hot in China also. So we might as well wait until break the back of the summer season and do some interesting filming here in Vietnam and share with you as much as we can. And then we're going to be going to China. All things
Things go to plan.
go to plan.
Which they will.
They will. Yeah, there's no reason why
no
not.
reason why they shouldn't. So Keith says 35 is 95 Fahrenheit and high humidity. And Chef Mooney says you can always come back to Melbourne and have some of my chicken rice dish. Haha.
Thank you,
Cool
buddy.
now.
I couldn't now. About the most I could take at the moment would be a fruit salad or a big bowl of ice cream would be nice. I couldn't eat a hot meal, Dave. Couldn't eat a hot meal. It's funny, isn't it? If somebody was to put a roast dinner in front of me now, I think I'd get up and leave the table. You know, a lovely big roast or something like that. You'd be just like, oh no, don't come near me. You know, you can't.
There aren't really many hot meals, have there?
No, you can't eat. In the evening times, the temperature drops down a little bit. It's down to sort of probably the late 20s or so. So that's the time you could probably eat a bit of cooked rice and.
Went for a little walk. We went for a little walk along the river yesterday, didn't we?
But this is our view. You can't see much because there's a lovely tree causing us some shade. And without the tree, we would be even hotter.
We wouldn't be able to sit here, would we?
No, you wouldn't be able. If that tree wasn't there, casting a bit of a shadow and some dappled light when the sun was out about an hour ago, it'd be way too hot.
Go and have a look around the shop maybe and leave that, come back to that.
Good idea, Michelle. Can I show you some of the shop? Let me take you off of there.
He's leaving his pancakes with me.
I'm leaving the pancakes. You're welcome to have pancakes, Michelle. Maybe I should just take it off the.
Yes, do you want the other? They did just pop up.
No,
Here,
I'll just take it off here.
Okay.
There we go.
That's easy. Get out of the way. Leave you to it. Go for a little wander.
It's still hot in here. Still hot, but look at this lovely little shop. Now, Michelle and I, yesterday, we bought some little reusable stainless steel straws that we can take with us when we travel, rather than using plastic straws and constantly wasting one-use plastics. And we got these little straw cleaners, so little pipe cleaners for cleaning out the straws. And here they've got glass, and we also got some little bamboo straws. I'm not so sure on the bamboo about the hygiene, how well they clean every time. So I think the stainless steel will be a little better. So these people here are called the Hmong. You can see the lady there with the indigo stain. So they make a lot of these beautiful. This is a little purse made with indigo. It's all colored with indigo, so you see a lot of this indigo coloring. And you can see the lady, the Hmong tribe lady there, her hands were stained purple She must have been recently working with it because after a little while it goes black. And so is that the right way around for you guys? Ha Mong. They do tend to, some people say the Hmong people, but actually I've spoken with these people themselves, and they do say Ha Mong. So it's one of these nice sort of colonial feels. Let me turn the camera around. I don't want to shake you around too much, but you can see all the beautiful clayware from local places, and then they've got all these lovely tribal dresses. We've got these dresses here. Probably losing the guys at the moment, but the girls will know what I'm saying. It is very pretty. It's a little bit heavy. Michelle would like to get some, but it's super heavy. Not something that you could wear in this heat. And then they've got all this lovely basket wear as well. And this is all locally made in the northern Vietnamese hills. Got all these little rice baskets probably, and you could use these for little litter baskets or what have you. And we bought here a little roll up. I was saying to Michelle, we need something to carry our disposable, reusable straws and chopsticks that we carry with us, and our spoons and things. And this is a little roll up similar to my chef knife roll. It unrolls and it's got little compartments in it like a tool roller. And so we bought one of those and we put our straws and our spoons. Oh, I'm struggling with the heat. I'm really struggling with the heat. Yeah. Hey, walking around's not making it much cooler for me. Now the problem is there, Michelle. I have loosened that all off now.
Okay.
Okay. So sorry everybody. Let's just turn that back round.
A bit of a wobble there.
No, I can't do it. It's too hot, too humid. I'm a wuss. Was anyone throwing up comments?
No, nobody said anything when you were in there.
Paying attention. Oh, I might have to get this takeout.
Yeah. I would just sit and let it. I did have one of his pancakes.
Did you?
One. I just one.
I'm still looking and thinking there's too much. So.
Yeah,
Well,
Amy says, how's your pancake going, Steve? Hope you're enjoying it.
Michelle's eating them, Amy. I'll be honest, I never expected to feel this hot here.
No.
Because yesterday was cooler, wasn't it?
It was, I think, because we had rain a few days ago in Vietnam, and it did cool the whole place down, but it hasn't had rain for a little while, has it?
No.
And it's just got hotter and hotter.
Probably because of the remnants of the cold I've had. I'm finding it shallow on my breathing as well, so the heat is not helping.
He says, not we'll see, watch for heat stress.
Yeah. Watch Steve pass out on a live stream.
So I'm just looking, I've got some water somewhere.
I'll just a minute.
Probably better, you're getting a bit more glow.
I'm like a dog panting now. So, what else have we got planned? We've done some train journeys. That camera's a bit low. We've done some train journeys, and what we've decided to do from Hanoi is we're heading down. We're going to head down the coast. We're starting to head down the coast, and we've done a lot of these night train journeys in the past, and the Vietnamese trains are not as nice as the Malaysian or the Thai trains for that matter. They're just not as nice as we found out to our first experience over this last day or so. So what we've decided to do is actually, rather than do the common thing, which is to jump in a night bus or a night train, we're just doing little journeys, maybe 4 to 5 hours down the coast of Vietnam, stopping at places that nobody's ever heard of, and actually avoiding places that everybody has heard of, and just seeing what we can find. And we stopped in this little town here just for one night, but we've extended it to 2 or 3 nights because we've found this little cafe and we find the people charming. And we're going to head down towards Da Nang, Hoi An, and a lot of what will determine how long we stay in this area will be this heat. If we can find a place that's maybe coastal, that's got a bit of cool air coming off the sea, and we'll stop here for a month or more. But if the heat becomes too unbearable, we may bail. But at the moment, I'm enjoying it too much. If I can just get over this, get this last bit of the cold out of my system, and not come out at midday.
Yes, we need to get into the proper routine. So Chef Mooney says, off the film now, great to see you both, stay safe.
Yeah, thank you, Dave. So, perhaps you might want, what was that?
Perhaps you might want to stop by Rakhia City in Kianjiang province.
Where is that?
Don't know. Dwayne says, hello, Stephen Michelle.
Good day, Dwayne. How are you, mate? I'm bearing up, I am. I'm going to have a lie down. Yeah, I've had no breakfast this morning. I've got these pancakes and I can barely eat them because the heat is so intense. No wonder everyone this is siesta time in this town. People, it's quieting down, the streets have gone to a murmur, and it's probably time Michelle and I also went back.
Dwayne says it's rainy here in Alberta.
Alberta? Oh man, that would be nice. A little bit of rain right now. I swear there's a storm coming, Dwayne. Feels like it.
But it probably won't come till tonight. It's going to come.
All the fishermen out here, they have those big square nets, probably, maybe 20 yards, 15 meters square, that drop down into the, I'm doing the Mexican way, drop down into the sea, and then they lay on the seabed. They cinch the center of the net. It's a big square net, and the center of the net is cinched closed. The tea towel, you tie it in the middle, the tea towel, and they wait for the optimum time to lift the nets up. So they're probably very familiar. They have these little bamboo houses float out in the sea, and often it seems that families live in these things. And so they know the tides, they know when the fish are coming, and periodically they'll lift these huge, great big basketball pitch size nets out of the sea, and then the guy will go out, and I kid you not, he's in a beautiful little coracle. If any of you know what a coracle is, it's like a round boat made of reeds. And so he'll get in a coracle, which is a sort of woven, like a washing up tub. The most impractical boats in a way, but they've worked for centuries. The Europeans have built coracles going back thousands of years. The coracle was a very common style of coracle. Have I got the word right?
Yeah,
I suddenly thought maybe I'm saying the wrong word.
Yeah,
What they call them here, I'll find out and let you know when I'll film them at some point. So they go out in this round sort of boat that sort of bobs like this, and they've got an oar, and they then take the boat out underneath the net to the center of the net, which has now been lifted by sort of bamboo poles out of the water. And as he's going under, he's banging. Go away, horrible bike. What is it with guys that they like their bikes to make a lot of noise? What does it even mean? Anyway, so they're banging the underneath of the net, and the little silver fish are dropping into the center, and there's a little sock, like a windsock in the center of the net, and he puts his coracle underneath and and collects the fish, and then he sort of takes his single oar and goes back to the little floating house. It was fascinating, isn't it?
That's very cool.
And he doesn't seem to get much. I'm sure sometimes they get a big catch, but the one we saw yesterday seemed to come back with maybe a handful of small fish, but enough for his family.
Yeah.
I mean, there's these little bamboo houses on stilt, little stilt houses. And the funny thing is, where we are now, it's a little bit built up, so it's sort of, we thought this town was going to be really small and remote, didn't we? But it's actually quite built up.
Yeah.
And it turns out it's a bit of a sort of Blackpool strokes of Gold Coast for the Vietnamese. What would you call it in America? I don't know.
Coastal towns.
Coney Island, I don't know what the equivalent is. And so a lot of the sort of kiss me quick hats and things, a lot of the Vietnamese come here for holidays. It's all lit up in glitziness, but it's quite quiet because it's the hot season. And so just off of this sort of like very modern promenade that runs along here, there's still these little wooden shacks in the sea and guys fishing. Family living. I will film it if I can. Maybe not here, and I'll share it with you. But it was funny to watch because the guy came back in his coracle, and coracles move quite quickly through the water. Actually, you know, considering they're about as aerodynamic as a sort of as a balloon. They move fairly quickly across the top of the water because they have very little displacement. So he got back, and the little kids were jumping up and down because he brought fish back, and they had a bucket and passed it up to them, and they pulled a keep net out of the water and poured the fish into the keep net, and the little kid dropped it back in. I didn't have a camera, unfortunately, to film it, so I didn't get any of that to share with you.
So Dwayne says Alaska has a bout of heat at the moment. And
I reckon that the Alaska heat would be quite nice.
yeah, probably. Be a dry heat, I would imagine. And B Online 1 says that Brahia is a coastal town. Many tourists stop by there to get to Phu Quoc Island.
What country are we in? Vietnam?
Vietnam. I think isn't that the island right down south? Is that the one that guy told us about?
I don't think we'll be going that
I
far
don't think
down.
we'll be going that far down. Vietnam's actually quite long, and
Vietnam's a huge country
huge.
by length, so
it takes you ages to get anywhere.
I'm not sure we're going to go down that far, but who knows? I think the further south we go, the hotter it's going to get.
I think so. Unless you go into the hills.
We were going to go to Dalat, which is a hill station around here, and we might still do it, but ordinarily I'd be through these pancakes in about 15 minutes, 10 minutes, but I'm struggling because of the heat. What we'll have to do, Michelle and I, bless our cotton socks, we'll have to go and have a Vietnamese coconut coffee in a little bit later on.
Yes, a little bit later on.
Which is like a big frozen coconut ice cream coffee. Yum yum.
Found a nice little place that does that.
It's a lovely little place that we go just here, and it's he does the most gorgeous coconut coffee. Last night I had one walking back from along the coast, and made this gorgeous coconut coffee. It was 25,000 dong, so that's around about under $1, I think.
Just over 23.
Is it? Australian?
Oh, Australian? No.
No, I'm saying, is that Australian you're talking about?
No, US.
Okay, so about $1. I haven't quite got my head around the Vietnamese currency yet. It'll take me a week or two.
It's a lot of zeros.
Yes, you go to the money changer and change some money, and you get 1 million dong back easily. You know, give them 100 Australian dollars, and you get 1.6 million, I think it is, dong. So you're an instant millionaire. And the other big problem, although I'm starting to get my head around it, is the monies look, I'll show you, they look all the same. So you get a bit like the American money in a way, all the same colour. You get all these monies, and they're very easy to muddle up a 10,000 with 100,000, or a, yeah, they're very tricky.
You've got to count those zeros, and there's a lot of zeros to count.
Yeah, a lot of people get caught out with the currencies here, but actually the Vietnamese are pretty honest.
Yes, they
Some people say that they're not in some areas, but I find them pretty honest.
yeah, they help you out, and they're pretty honest about what they take, aren't they?
But if you need reading glasses, which I do a little bit, to be honest, and you can't handle the money without seeing it clearly. It's impossible to read.
And then if it's dark, if the lighting isn't always good in a lot of these little places.
Yes, often there's no light, and you're trying to wander through a load of sort of dusty, old, ropey Vietnamese dong from 1,000. They do a 500 dong, 1,000 dong, 2,000 dong. They look the same. 5,000 dong is quite good because it's blue.
But the 20,000 dong and the 2,000 dong are quite similar, aren't they?
Yeah. And sometimes if they've got a bit of age in them and they've lost all the pop, they look like. And 100,000 dong, which is about sort of $6 or $7,
Yeah.
looks very similar to a 10,000 dong, which is about $1. That's easy to muddle up.
Yeah.
Which also looks like a let's not go into it too much. I'm probably boring you with my dong story. Wow, I'm going to be full. This is nice.
Getting through it.
If you haven't seen the beautiful smoothie bowl that Michelle had at the beginning of this video, go back to the beginning later on, have a look. Delicious mango smoothie bowl. And if you haven't seen the start of my pancakes, take a look later on. So, should we?
Wrap it up.
You even getting hot
I'm
now?
hot.
Come around here.
It's sitting still. Oh, whoops. They're heavy chairs, so they're not easy to move.
So we just wanted to catch up with you, let you know where we were, what we're doing. There'll be some the last of the Japanese vlogs, food vlogs that we did. I'll try and work on them this week. The leaving Japan video, I've just finished editing. That was a little simpler to edit, and yeah, we'll try and do more live from Vietnam and keep in touch with you all. I hope. Let me know if you enjoy that, by the way. If you like the live shows, let us know. They can be a bit lengthy, and we don't really have a direction. Some days we might have a direction.
But you have got a sim, so you can do it out on the streets. We can maybe do a walkabout, maybe when it's a little bit cooler in the evening.
I wish we'd come in the winter time. This is so hot. Anyway, love to you all. Share the love. Take care. Thank you for joining us today on the live stream. I'm going to see whether I can finish these pancakes. Get myself. I'm very nearly there. I'm so finding it hard in this heat. Love to you all. Take care. We will see you soon in the next. Look out for the leaving Japan video. Hope you enjoy that, and then look out for some really cool stuff from Vietnam, and I will still promise you some great videos from our last week or so in Japan. Take care. Love you all from somewhere unpronounceable in Vietnam.
Bye.